started talking to physicians at UMass, asking them questions like, well, of all your patients, what percentage of them would you say you help? And again, remember, this is now 1979. And I was completely astonished by their responses. They said, well, maybe 20%, 15%. And I said, well, what happens to the others? They said, well, some get better on their own, and the rest. But what if you sent your patients to a place where, like, we could take that time and help them to tap into deep inner resources that they have simply by virtue of being human?
Mindfulness and mindfulness-related practices, such as different types of meditation, were considered on the fringe of what therapists would use to help people who had mental health problems or stress problems. And past 10 to 15 years that we've seen it become more of a central focus of the treatment interventions that we use, particularly for people who are anxious. Across the board, like if you look at, there's many different types of anxiety disorders, but I would say that medication is going to be more of like a Band-Aid. So medication will help you. Anxiolytics, which is the type of drugs that those are your classic anti-anxiety drugs. Anyone who takes them would feel less anxious. They really don't help you learn how to handle anxiety. So.
The butterfly flies in a circle. Watch him dancing through the winds, tasting the sweet nectar of life. He does not think of the short time he will be here. He cherishes each flower as a precious gift, his wings caressing them in silent joy. Each flower that touches our life is fragile. Dance with it gently, gently, being thankful for the gift of them.
Those who know how to play can jump over the challenges of life. One who knows how to sing and laugh never brews mischief.
I was first diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. I say I was around 16 or 17. It was my junior year of high school. And it was I've always had anxiety, but it sort of went overboard that particular year because I just had a lot of stressing events in my life. But most of the time my thoughts just kind of go on whirlwinds and I can't really stop them, which is perfect for meditation because the whole point is to kind of take yourself out of your body and just slow your roll. I've always been a very natural person. I barely even started makeup until I got to college. I'm just really into hiking and all that nature. What really started helping was I just looked into all the natural ways that could help and then other resources if that wasn't enough, and then what types of therapy would be the best. And I think I was resistant to any medication and therapy at first, and I just really started exercising really hard and going into meditation and the resources of that nature. But eventually I ended up meditating 3 times a day.
If you have someone with an anxiety disorder, the best way to treat their anxiety is to help give them tools to learn how to manage. Life is stressful. Whether it's an anxiety disorder or it's just difficulty managing all the stress that we have in our world, I think that you do a disservice for someone if you just give them a medication. Because, you're pretty much saying that you have to be on this for the rest of your life to be able to handle your life.
For any type of anxiety you have in general. Meditation allows you not only to calm all of that physically and mentally, but it also allows you to take a breath and distance yourself from anxiety, so you're able to sort of like separate it. I think most people will say when they start doing yoga or meditating, they're able to sort of separate the selfish part of themselves, which is really important, especially for anxiety, because a lot of people with anxiety tend to make statements of, I do this, or I should be doing this more, I should have more of that, where it's always like comparing yourself or trying to make yourself better. And the whole point of yoga is kind of to accept all the imperfections, and meditating can definitely help with all that.
Pretty clear that incorporating a mindfulness-based approach, regular meditation, present moment living, that's really the way.
Being one with nature and being comfortable in nature, sort of just letting yourself relax there instead of just walking through it. So, and sort of feeling like the motion of it, and it's kind of like meditation in that way. You just kind of let things go.
I feel like, especially like with this, like I can definitely like see myself being able to relax and then like connecting with nature. And I feel like that's like the best way to kind of relax, because I mean we are from nature.
I think it's just that relaxation, that to give your body that relaxation, because I feel like I'm going every day, and just taking even that time to relax and let my body settle down helps, and I can literally feel the stress melt away, and it's great.
It has something to do with finding peace within nature and kind of drawing that inner peace and energy from being outside and with being one with the world. There's nothing better than getting into those poses and finding that breath and really being able to kind of like release. You kind of forget what you're doing and your body kind of takes over.
If I do believe in like a form of God, I find that through nature and from things I see in like the outside world. A specific place that I really appreciate and find peace in is a place across from my house, and you walk down, you're just kind of surrounded by trees, and then you get to this bridge area which has a flowing river. If you walk past that, it's this big open field that's almost always sunny when I go. It just happens to work out that way, and there's normally horses running in it, and I think that's just my ideal place to kind of come back to earth and feel at peace and meditate. I knew I was going on a plane, and I hadn't been on one in a while, and I filmed where I meditate, I filmed the river, I filmed the field, and I just watched that on the plane, and it was kind of nice to bring myself out of the space I was in and reconnect to this place in nature that I really appreciate.